Well, here we are. We're back again at YouTube Ministries podcast location here in Kingsland, Texas.
Ooh.
Believe it or not, it's 8:42 at night. I know. We're on a schedule. We were on a schedule, and now we're not on a schedule. We're on a different schedule. But you know what? When you're serving the Lord, you just never know when something's going to change, and you just got to be flexible.
You just have to do it.
You just have to do it. You have to do it. So, anyway, this is going to be part 2, continuation. Because I hate watching a movie and you're thinking, oh, and then it says to be continued. You're just like, what? Right? Especially Netflix now. They have those little series. And then you know, season 1, season 2, season 3, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it comes like next episode will be next year. And you're just like, huh? So next year comes, you forget about the whole thing. Unless it's Reacher. You never forget about Reacher. Why? Because my wife won't never forget because she likes Reacher.
Oh, yeah?
You seen him? He's buff.
I've never watched him. I've read some books.
Yeah. It's not good.
Read some books.
Read some books. He's all muscle guy. I think he's on steroids, but whatever. I wouldn't say that to his face.
Those are spicy books for the ladies while you're in the pen.
We're not going to be bringing Reacher in for you ladies. This is all the Reacher you get right here. That's funny.
Oh, God.
That's all right. Anyway, so I'm Mr. Amazing. I know, Lillian, you don't know me as that. You don't, do you?
What, as Reacher?
You don't know me as either of that, Reacher or Mr. Amazing.
I've never heard the Reacher thing.
None of us know you as
but
Reacher.
But the Mr. Amazing, right? I'm Mr. Amazing. Because believe it or not, what's happened is Jesus says I'm amazing, and I took it. Nothing I do is amazing. Because it's not. It's all Jesus. And if Jesus says I'm a masterpiece, why wouldn't I take that? But people sometimes can't handle that. They can't handle it. Who do you think you are? I'm a child of the King. Who are you?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, you think you're Mr. Amazing? No, it's not that I think I'm Mr. Amazing. Jesus thinks I'm Mr. Amazing. So if he's calling me Mr. Amazing, why would I just take that?
Yeah.
Right? And then you got to have a cape too. Mr. Amazing. Right? Believe Jesus. My mustache up here, it's beautiful. It's actually lifelike.
You're not wearing any clothes back here.
I'm not wearing any clothes back here. Wow, what a nice tush you have back here. Yeah, that's not right. I'm thinking about bringing this into Lockhart with me.
I thought we would.
I think we would too. Yeah, hopefully the mustache doesn't fall off. This is the hat up here. Guess what? Back 30 Outfitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Your killing team?
Killing buddies. Yes, sir. I know. I love the place.
Poor animals.
I know it. Hey, I'm going to get a drink. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Go ahead.
My name is Lillian. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say besides that.
Yes, you know.
I'm not Mr. Amazing, but I guess I'm a relative because I am also a child of the King.
That's right. Then you are a relative.
She's a first cousin.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's okay. Well, you're a masterpiece.
Yes.
Right?
I've seen some of the things that people call masterpieces.
Well, let's not go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if Jesus calls you a masterpiece, that's different than what other people say.
Yeah.
This is true.
Right? Because no matter, even if it's a masterpiece that costs a fortune, Jesus paid more of a penalty. Jesus paid more than that for you.
Right.
So if he paid the ultimate price for you, I mean, then why not just go around saying I'm super valuable?
This is true.
And then people, who do you think you are? Some bougie.
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 I call Mr. Amazing bougie all the time.
It's all right. I like being bougie. It's fun.
I'm bougie too.
Okay. Well, what's your name?
My name is Kimberly.
Kimberly.
My name is Kimberly. I'm a justice impacted individual. I don't believe that I am in recovery. I believe I've been delivered. I just like to think that I am a humble servant. I would like to think that, you know.
Okay.
I would like to think that, and it's not about anything else except what God says. What He says. Promise you, it's right? Because I tried so hard to fight his truth for so many years and just kind of run from it and believe that it could happen for everybody else but me. And I'm living proof that it's happening for me, and it's because I put my faith in him and I believe in him, and I know that he is my father, and he has this amazing plan for me. And maybe it doesn't seem like it happens in my timing, or that it makes any kind of sense, but it does, I guess, to him. So I just like to say that I'm a daughter of the King. I'm a humble servant, just a pilgrim passing through, and I'm just here.
A pilgrim passing through. Have you been thinking about saying that? And now you came up, boom, I can use it now.
No.
Okay.
It's in the Bible.
Okay. A pilgrim passing through.
There's even a book and a movie called Pilgrim's Progress about a man named Christian.
Okay. Maybe I hadn't seen it.
Well, maybe you should try to watch it or read it.
Maybe I should.
You can watch it.
Maybe we should be like Super Troopers and say, how many times can we say ridiculous?
Say meow.
I'm not saying meow at all. I'm not doing that. Meow. That's funny. Maybe that's not funny. Okay. So, Lillian Esther Baker.
That is my name.
I know.
Esther Baker?
Esther.
Esther Baker.
Yeah,
Esther Baker. Wow.
Yeah. So, we met in San Saba in 2016. She was sitting in a blue chair.
Oh, not the blue chair.
Yeah, she was sitting in one of those blue chairs. And now she's not. She's sitting in a black chair, which is good. Way better than the blue chair.
And it has cushion a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess you could have sat in this blue chair to make you feel like at home.
It's all right.
Anyway, so we're going to ask Lillian a couple more questions. And some of these questions Kim actually came up with. I know. Kim actually came up with a question. I know.
That's it. I'm done with this podcast.
I know you're not.
I'm walking out.
I'm walking out. That's funny. She'll
No,
be back here soon.
These are, I just, ask questions.
I think they're great questions.
Well, I'm just saying, I just ask questions that I'm interested in, okay?
And Jim from the gym actually had a couple of these questions too. Remember Uncle Si when he showed up here?
Uncle Si, where are you?
Yeah, Uncle Si, I see him at the gym every once in a while. He is so encouraging. That guy is.
He is so nice.
He is.
You know who else is very encouraging?
Who?
Kathy
Dosher.
She is so encouraging.
No
she
doubt about it.
talks to me on my Facebook, not in the messages, but like in the comments, and she is just so encouraging, man. Yeah. I just want to hang out with that lady.
Yeah, she's 2 thumbs up. Her and Dennis have been supporting you two since day one. Matter of fact, Kathy used to be. She taught at the Wyndham. Did she teach? What was she doing there? I don't know what you were doing, Kathy. She was doing something at the Wyndham when it was a men's prison, and she told me, she said, man, you'd be great at this. So she already knew that I'd be great at it before I even went over there.
Well, I remember her because she came in to, I think we were all serving at Lockhart.
Yeah.
And it was one of my first times that I ever got to go serve. And we were like cutting avocados and we were doing all kinds of stuff. But she was and I just got my job. Like things were starting to like really move for me. And she was just so encouraging about that and just kind of like interested and blown away. And she just kind of made me feel like, I don't know, like I was worthy to talk to, you know?
You mean when you were in prison?
No, I was out. I went to Lockhart to serve fajitas with y'all.
Oh, when we did the fajitas, yeah.
But that's where I first met her, and I was still pretty new. I was still pretty new out. I wasn't doing great, but I wasn't doing bad.
No, she's inspired by
she
you, for
is
sure.
so amazing. I want to hang out with her again.
Well, you can hang out with her if you can hang out with her next Saturday as soon as you get the.
Why is she coming?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I hope I get to go see her.
Anyway, that's a shout out to you, Kathy. And Dennis.
Kathy, you're loved. You're an amazing woman. I hope God blesses you tenfold.
Yeah. I'm sure she's thinking, I hope so too.
So, my question is kind of like, so the one that I had for like, let's take it back to prison because this is talking of like to people in prison. Okay. So in a place of like standardization where everybody's like basically having to be the same white wall, same white uniform, same behavior, whatever. In a place of standardization, how did you allow your faith to stand out? What set you apart from the crowd?
So whenever I went to prison, I was married to somebody that was under suspicion of being gang affiliated or whatever. So I couldn't bring any attention to myself. But the attention that I did have from some of the other inmates, like a lot of their mates or husbands or whatnot that were in other prisons knew him. And so there was a standard that I was supposed to... Do I got this right?
Yeah, you're good.
There was a standard, I guess, that I was supposed to uphold, like, because I was his wife, and there were certain expectations of being his wife. So the fact that I didn't run around with that identity of being what his wife should be, I kind of just, I don't want to say I stayed to myself, but I had a very small group of people that I would speak to, and I don't want to say I rode my bunk a lot, because I really didn't ride my bunk, but at night, instead of reading the ridiculous spicy books, as y'all were calling them last week, I didn't read any of that.
I wasn't calling them that.
That's
Well,
what they are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't personally, I didn't read any of that. The only books that I would read the Bible, and if it wasn't like some sort of, I've read, what is that dude's name? Maxwell, whoever he is.
Max Copeland?
Yeah, that maybe. No, I don't know. The guy that writes a lot of the inspirational.
Max Lucado?
Yeah, that guy. I would read a lot of his stuff.
That's who I meant.
Oh, okay.
I would read a lot of his stuff, but I predominantly, in the evening time, when everybody was out moving around, I would write my letters, and then I would read my Bible, and I would read one of those books, and then I'd lay down and go to sleep. So, I don't think that I was a big champion for Jesus Christ, but I think people saw what my daily routine was, and I didn't involve myself in any of the relationships that were inappropriate.
Were you homophobic? Sorry.
Well,
That's not very nice.
so my kid's dad told me, listen, the only thing that I'm really going to tell you about going to prison, because he had been, was if they're on the same unit as you, they have the same everything as you. So don't be fooled. Because he was trying to let me know that they were going to be people that were going to look like the opposite gender, not to be fooled by that. And so I didn't, like, pick at people that looked like boys or men, and because I know you said that you had short hair and that you look like a little boy, if I was listening correctly on the last podcast.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you a picture after the podcast.
I just didn't involve myself with people that looked like that, and not because I wouldn't have spoke to them, but I didn't want the drama that went with it. And so, and I would watch who did engage in that stuff, and I would stay far away from them. And it wasn't because they were bad people, just the activities that they were participating in were not activities that were going to help me get parole, for one, and I'm not like that out here, so there's no point in being like that.
Being gay for this day?
Yeah, I wasn't gay for the stay. I wasn't gay for a day.
Oh,
So-
wasn't gay for a day. Never heard that. We're going to have to use that.
But
Don't use that.
I'm using that.
I mean, I hope that every homosexual person finds Jesus and knows that he loves them.
Mm-hmm. It's true. You know, when you're talking about drama, and I got to be super careful what I say because I have said some things and I thought, I don't want to hear the answer to that. But, yeah. I think what's crazy about that is how many people actually go to church to hook up with their girlfriend at church. The place that you need to hear a word from the Lord is you go there not to listen to the Lord. You go there as a place to sneaky with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. I'm just like, oh my gosh, of all the places. It'd be like going to church and robbing the offertory plate.
But you know the thing about that, not to cut you off, was whenever they're going over there for that purpose, you're still planting a seed, or a seed is still getting planted.
Yeah.
So whatever the soil looks like that it's fallen on, that seed is still planted.
No, I get some of that, but then some of the distractions, because I've had classes where they're like, "Hey, ladies, come on, man, I'm trying to." It's totally disrespectful.
Yeah, it
you know,
is.
just kind of like, if you want to do that, then like I don't even know what to say. Just like quit it.
Yeah, like don't knock me out of my chair to pass your kite. I'm not passing it for you, but don't knock me over either. Like I don't know, church
a kite.
Well,
yeah, your
no,
love
I get
notes.
It. Shouldn't have went there. All right, sorry
Anyway,
about
sorry.
that.
Your love notes.
Yeah, I know what that. Yeah, what?
Well,
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This conversation's hitting real close to home, guys.
It's not that
didn't
close.
mean to be offensive.
No, it's pretty close.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm not trying to hammer anybody. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to people. I want everybody to come to know Jesus. And I got stuff that I need to wash clean. I got stuff that needs to take out to the garbage. I need stuff to take to the trash. Everybody does. Yes? So, I'm not trying to bash nobody or whatever. I'm just like...
I'm just saying, there was a time when I was that girl that went to church to meet up with her girlfriend.
But you never did as long as I knew you.
Well, no, I was already in my changing phase.
Good.
But,
and then what happened?
There was a time when I was the girl that, because it's not that, all right, so it's not that like homosexuals don't believe in God. I believed in God. I loved God, but I was very real with myself and like, I know I live in sexual sin. I know I live in sin, but I can't help what I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
It may be trauma that got me there to why I was attracted to the same sex rather than men, because I went through a lot of childhood trauma, and maybe that be it. Maybe it's not. I can't sit here today and say that I don't find women attractive.
Well, I'd like to tell you the same thing. We got something in common there.
I don't act on it because I did learn that as I got more involved with following Christ and I got more involved with really, really digging deep and having a true relationship with him, like a real deep, intimate relationship with him. Not just because I was saved. I was saved, while I was still being very active in my relationships, and that didn't change my love for God. I still read my Bible, and yes, I would go to church, to meet up with the girlfriend at one point in time, but there became a time whenever it got to the point where things that I was hearing, the closer I kept getting to God, things that I was hearing started resonating with me, and I started getting convicted on things like that. And as I've dug deeper into my faith and really got serious with God over the years, and it's been some years, that I've had to work very hard at this. It just doesn't go away overnight, and I learned that me not being active in that, like, I really feel that there's been a lot of blessings that's come out of that, because it's like, remember that guest we had, the guy, he had the beautiful relationship with his wife. He waited forever. Kurt. Hey, Kurt. It's kind of like that, how he kept talking about he surrendered his singleness, because that was the thing he was hung up on. And so he surrendered his singleness. I like to think that that's how I was. I surrendered my homosexuality, my attraction to the same sex, because I knew that was like the same way I would. It's the same thing as like surrendering an addiction to him. Yeah. It's a sin is sin.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it's like that. And it's not, there's probably so many people that love Jesus with all their hearts. They just don't know how to get over, because we're women and we like nurturing and we like physical touch and we like emotional depth and we like that kind of relationship. And it's really intense. And so it's hard to let go of that, because you feel like you're going to go through life without a companion, It's
just not true.
It isn't true. It is a lie from the devil, and there's somebody for everybody, but it's just, it's not as black and white like that. There is some gray, like, cause it's like, I know that there are more women and men out there that have dealt with or are dealing with the same struggles I have with it. You know, you want to live for God, and if you want to live for God, you have got to follow what that Bible says.
That's true. But also, when I'm thinking about it, no different than I can remember going to church drunk.
Yeah.
I can remember going to guys like, "You've been drinking?" Nah.
And that's the same thing.
And it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just like, you can't go anywhere. I mean, if you're high before you go to, I mean, how many people go to church high, but they do.
It's really
right?
just how
Or
serious
you've been drunk, or you know what, people that go to church and you know they got an affair or whatever,
Yeah.
so it's sin. But the thing about it is sometimes when people are talking about it, you know, they're like looking down at you because people think that sin's worse than what they're doing.
Yeah,
and we're
it's
not doing
not.
that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, no, it's
we're
not.
We're just talking about, you know, like what we talked about last podcast about Samuel saying, "Hey, look, you wanted the king, you got to obey the Lord. If you don't want to obey the Lord, there's going to be consequences to that."
Yeah.
And not only with you, now your ancestors.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm totally not offended, but
Okay, well, good, because I didn't want you to be offended.
Well, sometimes I think, though, that God gives us thorns to teach us how to die to our flesh. And so, just like I have been in a relationship now for a little over a year. He lives at his house. I live at my house. I'm 46. He's 50. I have this weird thing in my mind where I think if I'm not married now, I'm probably not going to get married.
yeah.
So then I start thinking, well, God, I want to get married, and he's probably the dude that I want to get married to, but I'm not sexually active with him. So a lot of times this little voice in the back of my head will start telling me, why would any sane, rational man want to stay with someone who says, I'm not having sex with you until I get married?
A man that is after God's
And he's
own
cool
heart.
with it. And I stay at my house. He stays at his house. Like, we don't have overnight slumber parties. And I probably trust him more in our relationship than I have any of the other relationships.
Do y'all like talk on the phone like little high school crushes?
Yeah, and we text like 500
They're like
times a
this.
day.
They're like kicking their feet.
Yeah.
Oh, could you please stop that?
Yeah.
Just please.
No, but he's really, really cool, and he's been respectful of that. But the urge is, so, like, my preference, I guess if you look over history, would be the dude that's, like, 6-something and the bigger guy. And so Satan, he knows our likes just as much as God knows them. So when he sent this 6'6", 350-pound dude that was cool, nice, and respectful towards me, I'm like,
Is it covered in tattoos?
yeah, kind of.
I knew it.
But so all those things, like that little thorn in my flesh was right there, like, and then I've got this stuff playing in my head, like, you're a middle-aged woman looking for a long-term relationship with someone who is he has kids, so he's obviously had the sexual experience before, and I'm like, so that's just a thorn in my flesh. And so to me, that's what I feel like that's another thing that God is using to teach me how to die to my flesh. Just like that's what I feel like homosexuality is. And inside prison, since I don't know how everybody else is, but my mentality was to cut the outside world off, and that was the only way I stayed sane in there, other than the letter or whatever that I would get. So I could see how the companionship and the constant, like, being in close quarters, how easy it would be to view those relationships the way that some of the people do. Just for me, that wasn't my preference. So I'm not passing judgment on anybody that.
Yeah.
I know that we all have our own little thorns that are just there, and I think that they're there to teach us how to die to our flesh.
Well, isn't it cool that instead of, I'm not saying that, well, I am saying, maybe all your relationships were based on giving the goodies away.
Mm-hmm.
And then the consequences that come with that. Now it's not about the goodies. Now it's about you as a human being. So now there's more trust.
Right.
Now there's more respect. Now there's more, if something goes wrong, they may pray for you or care about you instead of just like, oh, you're not feeling good? Well, I don't care because it's about the goodies. Right. And then a lot of people, you got to get to the point where, what's the most important? Well, you've probably been in a few toxic relationships. Well, you just don't want that anymore.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking
don't
about,
want
right?
toxic
I
at
mean,
all.
that's the last
I'm
thing I
real
need
big
is
on
a
that. Like,
toxic
I will not
relationship.
be in one of those.
Jeez, that's crazy. All right, let me ask a question.
Do it.
What size shoe do you have? No, just kidding.
Oh,
Oh, that is funny. Oh, this is funny. So, what path puts you to prison? No. Has prison changed your life? Probably. Has prison changed? You know what? What decision did put you on the path to prison?
oh,
Are you asking me or her?
you.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're the guest. You
Yeah.
get to see
Okay.
me all the time.
So, I married this dude, and I'm not blaming him in any way.
Let me regroup on this for a second.
Okay.
Let me help you out. Let me tell you where I'm coming with this question.
Okay.
So, what decision put you on the path to prison? Now, I know that there was something that broke the law, so I'm not really asking about that. What I'm asking about is what emotion, what were you missing in your life that you needed for this to happen that turned into a prison situation?
I think I needed love and reassurance, and I needed to feel acceptance. And in the relationship I was in, I felt that in the very beginning. So it made it very easy for me to stay whenever it was no longer that. And then prison was just an inevitable part of what was going to come. And so I'm just lucky that I made it there instead of some of the other places.
Can you just say that one more time right into that camera?
I am lucky that I made it there.
Made it where?
Into the prison.
Okay. Because?
Well, I'm not. I was so strung out on dope that if I would not have ended up in prison, I would have either ended up dead or I'd have been one of those ladies that are walking down the street, fist fighting the air, talking to myself, and had no cognitive memory of who
Like
I
the
was.
guy at the gas station?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, that could have been me.
Yeah, it could have. And I've seen people that at the start of their addiction, they were beautiful people, and then I see them now and it's like, oh. And so God has a different plan for all of us, but luckily enough, like, God orchestrated, like he always does, my path out of that.
But for you, it was about you wanted to be accepted and you wanted to be loved, probably because of trauma when you were younger,
Yeah.
maybe. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's just the way you were brought up.
Yeah, and then the relationships that I had as an adult were very violent, and I felt really beat down as a person. And then here's Mr. Wonderful telling me all these things that I had always wanted to hear, and all the things, like, he could have sold ice to an igloo, and I believed all that because I was so beaten down that everything I needed to hear, he was saying it. And by the time it escalated into everything else, I had already bought in on all of that. And so, I mean, anyway.
Was it one of those to where he was just super nice to you until he got the goodies and then everything kind of changed?
Yeah, and then because of
The goodies.
his lifestyle, I guess he started getting better goodies somewhere else. And so it was,
Maybe not better, just different.
yeah, different.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
Strange goodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, because I know that I could have asked that question, you say, well, drugs got me to prison, this and that. But mostly there's an underlying thing that really was a lie. Because you really should have, but maybe you just didn't know that. And why we don't teach our kids this is, it's just crazy that we don't, especially as a country. We should be doing this. Instead of taking God out of the school, we should throw God back into school and
Yeah.
start listening to what he has to say.
Yeah.
Because you know what? If you would have known that Jesus already accepted you and already loved you, it may have made a difference in your life. Because you're looking for something that only Jesus can really provide.
Right.
And you're looking for it in different people, and they always let you down.
Right.
And then you start to listen to the lies instead of listening to what God's truth is.
Right.
So true, right, girls? But then now in different relationships, you can look back on that and say, I'm not falling for that again. Because Satan always trying to use the same trick. It just looks a little bit different.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me go to another question.
Let's go.
And you could ask me a question if you want to. Nobody ever asked me any questions. So what brought about... when your past self challenged your present self, how do you deal with that? That's actually a pretty good question.
Yeah.
You came up with that, didn't you, Kimbo?
I did.
Yeah. That's Kim Burley. When your past self challenges your present self, how do you deal with that? Because that does, right? Because we talked about guilt, and guilt is one of those giant deals that messes with your past.
Yeah. And so I have a little group of people that are pretty good about
Like they're midgets?
well, no. There's just a small number of them.
Oh, okay.
That will remind me who I am. That love me enough to say, okay, yeah, maybe you were all those things, but you're not those things now.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be those things again if you don't want to be.
Yes.
And I don't really think anybody wants to be, but they'll ask me, like, if I'm supposed to be at work at 5:30 and it's 6 o'clock, well, okay, so technically I don't have to be there till 6:30. If I don't get, but I'm always there at 5:30. At 6 o'clock, if I haven't shown up, I have people that will call and be like, where are you at? And I'm not even late for work yet, but I have people in my life that are so steady on what my routine is. Now they can tell me before I even think about it that they sense something is wrong. And so then I have to look at that and be like, okay, because it would be easy for me to be like, okay, so I've already messed up with Anthony and Lainey. What does it matter? I mean, they're being raised by somebody else anyway. Well, what would matter is I would not, if I go back to who I used to be, I will never be able to tell them, this is what Jesus walked me through. This is what he walked me out of. So whatever you're walking through or whatever is coming up in your life, he can do the same things for you.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to tell somebody, God can do all these things for you, and God will do all these things for you if you let him. It's easy to say that, but then a lot of people, if they're like me and my children are my children, and I need examples. So I need you to tell me a time God walked you through something crazy.
Yes.
And so not everybody's like that. Some people can read this and be like, okay, well, here it says this, 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 and this. And they're fine and they're sufficient with that. I wish I was one of those people. But I never have been a person that can learn from somebody else's instruction. I have to go through it myself. So anyway, now I'm rambling. But
It's okay. But you know, the thing about it is the Bible is full of, we crossed the Red Sea, or when they crossed the Jordan, they set up the stones. We're talking about Samuel, right? He set up the Ebenezer, right? To know what God's done for him. People all through the Bible have set up temples to show what God has done for them. And then we need to remember, because I'm super quick to forget, right? But you're right, because you know what? You can't take, just like for us, there is restoration. Maybe it takes a few years, and then all of a sudden there's a phone call, or maybe there's just, hey, there's some, I forgive you, or I'm sorry, and it's okay. Because you know what? We're not looking at the past. We're still looking at the future. Some people can't let go of the past. Guess what? I can look back. I can let go of the past and look to the future. Because you know what? For me, I want the best for you. You want the best for me. You want the best for your kids. Yes? So you know what? Now you can say, hey, look, because you can say it, and so can you, Kim. And a lot of people that they can say it too, but they're just too chicken to say it. But you girls have walked through some serious stuff that God has rescued you from. And I don't care. Nobody could take that from you. Nobody can go, oh, wow, it was a coincidence. It was this. No, it wasn't. And you'd be dead set of like, no, this is exactly what happened. So your kids, now you can, like you said, now you can tell your kids, oh, really? God won't bring you through that because let me tell you what he's brought me through. Yes?
Yes.
You just don't want to have to go through some of those things. Right? All right, that's a follow-up.
Wow.
I could comb my hair on those shoes. I like those shiny shoes. Would I wear those? No.
My little moon boots.
Yeah, they actually go with your sweater. Way to be color coordinated.
That's probably why she wore them.
Or she probably did. Oh, duh. Duh, right? Yeah, that's why I wore this yellow shirt to match my hair.
What's Curious George like in real life?
Yeah, I don't.
You look like you work at Cracker Barrel.
The man in the big yellow hat.
I don't work at Cracker Barrel. I'd never
Don't
make
they
it.
wear those shirts though?
I don't know.
They might.
I don't work at Cracker
That's
Barrel.
his Cracker Barrel uniform.
I don't know. I don't
Are
know.
you the old man on the?
I am I'm the old man on the sign that they tried to take me down, and then everybody complained.
Yeah.
Right?
He's staying.
He's staying. That
Uncle
was
Herschel's
ridiculous. Why would
staying.
they just leave the guy alone? Right? I mean, oh my God, who came up
Well,
with
of course
that
you
idea?
would say that. It's you.
It's me. Leave
You
me
don't wanna-
alone.
you don't
I'm
wanna
the old
take
man
that.
over there. Yeah.
Please.
Except I don't smoke
This is
cigarettes.
15 minutes of fame.
All right, whatever. Just quiet down. Somebody cut their mics off. All right, let me ask you another question. I'm going to ask both of you, right?
Okay.
But I'll ask you first, Lillian, because you're on a roll. What would you tell somebody who is headed down the wrong path that was not told to you? And you know what? That's a gym question. I get that, but most of the time people just aren't going to listen to you.
No, most of the time they're
But
not.
what would it be? You know, let me take that back a little bit, because you know what? If people knew where you came from, because people look at me and they say, "Oh, look, you do this," but you don't know what I've been through. You don't know the challenges I've been. So, you know, what would I tell somebody now? I tell people all the time, young people that I get a chance, learn how to save your money, right? I'm telling people certain things to head down the wrong path. Here's what you don't do. I'm telling my grandkids, hey, don't start drinking. Don't do that, because that could wind up ruining your whole life if you're not careful. It can. Some people can handle it, some people can't. But I want to tell you what, you want some of Grandpa's money? We ain't going to do that. You're going to start doing drugs? I'm going to do we're going to have drug tests before you get some of Grandpa's money. Because we ain't doing that. Grandma's not saving his money for you to squander it all on dope and stuff like that. So I will tell people, hey, look, you know, learn how to forgive yourself. Learn how to do certain things, right? And you could take it or you can leave it, but whatever. So, but for you, what would you tell somebody who's headed down the wrong path that was not told to you?
For me, I think a lot of things I think the way that people start making certain behaviors okay with themselves is they do start believing all the negative stuff. And one of the things that I heard whenever I was in prison is that 80% of the things that we hear personally are negative. And 90% of those things come from us. So,
It may be more than that.
Yeah, probably.
It may be more than that, yeah.
and so to me, I think if somebody would have just maybe stopped me and just told me, like, hey, you don't need all this extra stuff. You don't need all these extra people, because you are loved, you are valuable, you are important. I might have looked at them like they were dumb in the moment, but I would have pondered on that a little bit later, maybe later that night, later that week, but I would have thought about it again, because one of the most powerful things that somebody's ever said to me was unexpected. Whenever they just said to me, I was telling them some random thing that I wanted to do, and they were like, I believe in you. And no one had said that to me up until that point. And so then I started thinking, well, if somebody that's way smarter than me, way more successful than me, can look at me and say, you know, I believe in you, you can do these things, then I'm limiting myself. And so it makes it a lot easier to make bad decisions when you don't think that you're valuable and you don't think that people care, for me personally. So I don't know, if somebody would have maybe just told me I had any value at all, then I don't know, it might have, but it might not have.
Yeah. But you know what? It's something super simple as, I believe in you. How many words is that? 4 or 5 words? And they're all little words, so, it'd be easy for me to say because nothing's too big to spit out. I believe, believe's a pretty big word, in you. But right?
You're right.
Because there's a lot of people that don't. And you're right, because sometimes you could say something to somebody like, what do you do? And then they think about it later because you know what? They got God in their ear saying, oh, really? Because I believe in you too. But God's just like, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Am I hearing things?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What about you, Kim?
I think
Burley?
I would probably agree with her.
Or you got something in your teeth?
Dude,
No,
I've
you
been saying, we ate pizza, and I've been trying to make sure I don't have any pizza in my teeth. I was freaking out about it. Thanks a lot. God.
What is that, a cartoon character that does that? Who
I
is
don't
that?
know where I got that from.
Oh, that's funny. Do that again.
And I can't do it on demand. I'm
Oh,
not a
my
puppet.
gosh. I can't believe that cartoon character. That is hilarious. Sorry. It's late.
Yeah, I've been up since 3:30. I'm getting
Wow.
delirious.
Getting delirious. That is so funny. That's the most I've laughed on this podcast. You guys. Sorry. That's funny.
So you're going to tear up the plant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stick it in your tooth. Oh my gosh.
I got a piece of basil in my teeth. Sorry.
I don't even remember the question.
Yeah. What is the question? Here, let me
I
put
don't
my
know.
glasses on. That's hilarious. Wow. This is the funniest podcast we've ever had yet. What is the question? I don't know. I can't read it. It's upside down. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. So what would you tell somebody who's headed down the wrong path that was not told to you?
Oh yeah, I would totally agree with her. I lived a really hard life, and I was never, ever, 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 ever lifted up like to make I don't, maybe except my mama before she died. She thought, but I don't know. I've never ever heard anything good about me, like that I could be something that, like, if I wanted to drop out of school, no one was there to argue about, like, no, you're just in junior high, you're barely in, you're barely going to be a freshman. Why would you want to drop out? You have your whole life. You could do this. You could do this. It was just like, okay, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I would have had somebody to believe in me, if I would have had somebody who, well, what she said, to like let me know that I had some kind of value, like you want that from your parents. Like, well, I don't know my dad, but I know my mom. You know what I mean? You want that from your mom. You want that from your family. And whenever you don't get it, that is really debilitating. And then all the people that come in your life as fixtures of your life afterwards, the boyfriends, the husbands, the baby mamas, of whatever anyone has. If those people aren't actively lifting you up, you're just going to believe that you're just destined to be just what you are. And what I was my entire life was a drug addict. I was homeless. I had no job. I had no license. I had no car. I had nothing. I couch surfed. I've slept outside. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what I believed I was, and that's what I believed I would always be. And so...
Glad that's not true.
Yeah, it's not true at all. So, like, if I would have had somebody in my life that encouraged me, not just like whenever I started going down the wrong path, maybe I wouldn't have gone down the wrong path if I would have had someone to encourage me the right way. Even teachers and stuff were mean to me. You know what I mean?
Teachers, I know, but I was not. I had a teacher tell me one time, every morning I take a shower and I hate coming to school because I know I'm going to see you.
Oh, jeez.
Like, okay, great.
I will say there is.
I know. Like, thanks.
I will say this. He's on my Facebook. If you ever see anyone on my, he comments on my stuff sometimes about how, Coach Tucker is so proud of you. He was my speech teacher.
Oh, okay.
And I was into super punk rock and anarchy and forget
You're still that way.
Forget the system.
Oh, yeah.
No God, no this, all this stuff. And I was really outrageous. You know, the dog collars and the mohawks. I was super outrageous. And he
Dog collar?
Yeah, you know.
Okay, yeah.
You know, the gothic look.
Yeah.
Punk rock gothic look. You know the ones.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Sure I do.
I was like that, you know, just super drugged out rebel chick, and he was so nice to me. And he like was very, he just treated me very good whenever I was in class. And we'd have assignments, and he'd let me just write whatever I wanted to write about what I was interested in.
Was he hitting on you?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
But he was good to anybody all the students.
Okay. Good.
Like
good
he
dude.
was a coach. He was the boys coach.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he made men out of those guys.
Yeah.
Like he was a really good guy. But anyway, so I think maybe he was probably the only one that ever. But I was. Who's going to listen to your teacher? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever you're hearing at home that you're.
But if somebody cares, and then you said something about dropping out of high school, and I'm thinking, you know what? I dropped out of high school, and my parents were still married, and I just don't. They just seemed like it was. They never did say, no, you're not doing that. Like me, like.
Yeah.
My kids, there was no way they were dropping out of high school.
Yeah, like
there was no way I'd allowed that to happen.
You know, if my situation was different and my kid was like to come to me and be like, I'm going to do this, I'd be like, no, you're not. And I would make sure I drove her to school every single day, and I'd walk her to class.
I know.
Senior.
I know.
I don't care. I don't care
know.
what grade you're in.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but so I think I agree with her. Like if you have no idea the impact you have on a person whenever you can just truly, and not just say it, like truly believe within yourself and tell somebody, hey, I love you. I think you're worth it. I think you're enough. I think that you can do good things. I think God cares about you enough. He's going to get you through. You know, you do that for people all the time. And you know, we know you mean it.
People don't listen.
I listen all the time.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
God,
I know,
I'm
I do
ready
tell
to go
people
home because you're just so mean to me.
I'm not mean to you. What do you mean? I was trying to get that stuff out of your teeth. So, you know what? I do say that to people because you know what? I know that I've said, and I say this almost every class, that I have confidence in you, even though I don't even know you. And people are like, how could you have confidence in me? You don't even know me. Because Jesus has confidence in you. And if Jesus has got confidence in you, why wouldn't I have confidence in you?
That's true.
You know?
If the big guy says it, then it's got to be
Yeah.
so.
So you know what? Maybe the point of this whole thing is, you know what? Maybe we just need to be more positive to people.
Yeah.
Because you're right. When you said 80%, I think it's way higher than that. It's almost like everybody goes negative right off the bat. And I had a guy one time who was super positive, super nice. He drove me crazy. Every time somebody, hey, what's up? Good to see you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, finally I had to tell him, quit. You don't have to be this nice to me. Just quit being this nice to me. You're irritating me. I'm like, what? I said, yeah, man, I can't handle this niceness all the time.
And now he's like, let's be nice to people.
Yeah. And I am rude to people too.
Are you?
Yeah, I know. I had some people
You should hear me in traffic.
So
it's all right.
I was working in my yard this week, right? And on Saturday, and the neighbors came and they were handing out pamphlets for some sort of revival or something they were doing. Anyway, the guy stayed a little farther away. The lady come up and said, "Here." I said, "Yeah, I'm not going to that. I'm not going to go to that." She said, "Well, don't you talk to people about Jesus all the time?" I said, "Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to ask anybody to go to this because I don't even know what that's about." Anyway, then they just said, okay, and then they walked off. Didn't tell me what it was about, nothing. And I thought, why did I have to be so rude? If I could have just said, okay, thanks, and then threw it in the trash can. But no, I'm like, I ain't going to that.
I'm like that in traffic.
Like, I know, but I mean, I'm just like, I should, like, why would I do that to my neighbors?
But you kind of gave her an opportunity, though. You're like, why would I go to that? I don't even know what it's about. I mean, if it was really something that she wanted you to go to, she could have been like, well, this is actually what it is. I mean...
Yeah, just because I talk to people about Jesus, I have no idea what that is. Because people are talking about Jesus all the time, but they're not talking about the same Jesus.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So, I don't know. All right, so it's funny how fast time goes by.
It is.
Right? Anyway, so you know what, Lillian? Thanks for driving a long ways to come today and last week.
Yeah.
It's funny how you came 2 weeks in a row and you wore the same outfit.
I know. I've only got one set of clothes.
It's okay.
Outside of my work clothes.
Yeah. So, but we didn't really want to do a podcast that was 2 hours long because that's kind of hard to do in the prison system.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. So, but
and it's hard to not banter. Go back and forth when you have a guest. Just conversate.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk to someone new.
Yeah, and it's good because you get a different perspective on stuff too. And you know what? People's lives change, and it's good to hear there's what's going on now, and so I'm really proud of you, and I'm glad we have glad our relationship's been mended, and but you know what, God, that's what God does.
Yeah.
So here you want to go first today?
For what?
With your chatting with the folks behind the camera.
Don't forget to tell people how special they are. Don't forget to love thy neighbor as if you would love yourself. And what I think a lot of people miss in that scripture is that God wants you to love yourself too.
Yeah, he does.
Because he says to love thy neighbor as you would love yourself. I can't love Tom the right way if I am not coming from a place of genuine love for myself. So learn to love each other, learn to love yourself, and learn to accept the love of God.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there, Kimberly.
Yeah, I believe in that.
That's very good. All right, Lillian, here's your chance.
All right, well, I guess what I would say is in this very moment, I'm reminded of like the prodigal son, because I kind of feel like the prodigal child returning home. And whenever you get out, not every relationship is going to go exactly how you want it to right up front. Sometimes it's going to take some restoration. But God does say that he will restore what the locusts have destroyed. So just put your faith in Jesus and just know you don't have to have it all figured out right now. And you can come to him with whatever thorns you have, whatever burdens you have on yourself. You can come to him and in that exact state, and he'll do all the rearranging and all the cleaning up that needs to be done. You don't have to do all that. Just keep him as the focus and not yourself, and everything will work out the way that it's supposed to, because he doesn't want to do anything but give you a good life, an abundant life, and the only thing that's going to stand in between that life that he wants for you is you. So anyway, yeah, that's it.
Some good stuff, ladies.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
I guess you girls know it better. Lillian, how long were you in prison?
I got a 10-year sentence, and I did 26 months on 10 years. And I just got off parole in August.
So you were on parole for a long time.
Yes, I was. And I was in trouble a lot.
So like what? You were like 2 years? A little over 2 years?
I did 26 months. So I did 14 months at Brown County Jail, and then got transferred to San Saba. I didn't make it to one of the real units, as they say in prison. I was on a transfer unit, and then I got my parole answer there. And then, so it was total of 26 months that I did.
Yeah, but you didn't spend a real prison. But I'll tell you what, that one over there, you're wedged in there like sardines. Yeah. And now they got guys over there in those same 26 people. I mean, having girls in there, but now you got guys that are bigger in those same little tiny.
Yeah, I got a fight at San Saba. The only fight I got in prison. A girl made a "your mama" joke to me, and I said, well, I might say something about your daddy, but you might not know who he is. And that was a fight. I was in, 7A30 or something. That was my bunk. So.
Yeah, 7A, 7 Alpha. That's still a mess over there.
Well.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got some Jesus over there now. So it's changing a little bit. It's changing a little bit. Except the other day, they had church service, and after church service, like the guys in the gym, they did a strip search. I'm like, what's going on over there? The strip search. I'm like, oh, way to go, Satan. Way to go.
They do that every time, though, don't they?
No. Usually you get a pat down, not a complete strip search right after church.
Oh, did they have rookie guards?
I don't know. Anyway, so I put a post out on Facebook, and I only had inmates that have been in prison say, well, I still win, this and that. But I guarantee you, out in the world, if you told some people that they had to get strip searched before they're going to church, it's going to be empty.
I'm going to make it so uncomfortable for that person trying to stop me and strip me coming out of church.
You know what I'm saying, though? In the prison, you don't have a choice. You have to do what you have to do there, like, in a gym, right? But in a regular church, no, we'd quit going.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
We'd pick a different church that has better morals.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. It's not about the. Yeah, I know. Okay, my turn. I'm glad this podcast is over with. Anyway.
Too much estrogen in this room.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't even know what that even is. Estrogen. So just so you know, it's all about Jesus. Yeah. I am glad that Jesus changed my life. I'm glad I'm not the same person I used to be. God's still working on me. He's still molding me to be more like him. And one of these days I'm going to go home. Lillian's like, well, I'm 40-something years old. Whatever. Wait until you get to be my age. Then you can complain. I would love to go back to 40-something years old, but I'm not. Anyway, it's okay. So, you know what, for you guys in San Saba, man, hang in there. It's going to be okay. But first of all, for you guys, it's time to drop some of the boy stuff, and it's time to start being men. It's time to start treating your girls like they're supposed to be treated. Be the father to your kids that you need to be. Just because you weren't that way before, it doesn't mean you can't be that way now, right? Your kids will respect you. But guess what? Get your priorities straight. It doesn't always have to be about you. It's about your responsibilities. I know, coming from a dad, that I know that it took me a while and I had to wind up being a man. And you know what? Sometimes it sucks. And what's a man? A man is a guy who goes out and works, and then his kids take his money and buys him a gift for Father's Day, so you buy your own presents. That's just what happens, right? But start being the man you need to be, because there's a lot of girls out there that just don't, they want to love somebody. And they want to love somebody who's respectful and who's good for them. You don't have to be perfect, but just start being who God created you to be. And for you ladies in other prisons, right, especially at Woodman, because, man, you girls are a wreck over there. No. But anywhere else we go, you know what, girls? For guys that are okay, guys that are serving the Lord, they don't need no flimsy girl. They want a girl who's got it together. They need a girl who's going to be faithful, that loves them, that knows how to at least, maybe make a dinner or something or whatever. Sorry, Kim. No, you're not a cook, right?
I'm a good cook.
Yeah, you're a good cook, right? And I'm not really saying it's about cooking and cleaning. It's about you being the girl that God created you to be. Not nagging all the time, not complaining all the time, to lift up your man, to lift up your kids, to be the mom they need to be. Make sure your kids are clean, make sure they have some good, meals to go to school. Make sure their hair's washed and whatever, man. It's just time to, instead of being I don't even know, because a boy to man, but what is it, a girl to a woman, right? Be the woman that God created you to be. And you'll see that God will put somebody with you together that's meant for you. I'm just trying to encourage you, right? You don't have to be perfect. Clean, wash your hair every once in a while. Comb your mustaches. You know what I'm saying? Right? There's a girl the other day, there was a girl at the Halbert unit, and she said, you remember me? You always talked about the bingo wing.
What's a bingo wing?
The bingo wing is this and this, because when I was fat, right? Because I used to weigh a lot more than this. I had the bingo wing. So then when you do this, it goes,
oh my God. And you're like, bingo.
I have a bingo wing.
You're like, bingo. And then I'd hit myself in the face with it. But anyway, I've done, you okay? Don't choke. I've done something about it, yes? But anyway, I'm trying to encourage you. Be the ladies that you're supposed to be. You can do it. You can do it. God's created you a masterpiece, so let's start being that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to roll. See you in a couple weeks, or see you next week. I don't know. We'll see you when we see you. Right, girls?
Right.
All right. Adios.